It's the end of the day with Ray. Hello, my friends, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're going to jump in that gigantic, sharp, interactive board. We're going to go through Epson's FY23, which ended March of 2024. Looking at the numbers, inkjet versus laser. Can Epson win, or is their lead time running out? Folks, I'm going through Epson's numbers, and I'm looking at what they're doing in that office shared space. And I'm thinking, boy, they could really grow that. They got to get better focused. They could really grow that number. But as I was going through Epson's numbers today, a light bulb went off in my head. And I'm going to share with you some math, some real numbers, and some statistics that should convince everybody watching me here today that I'm 100% right regarding laser production print equipment. It is a completely oversupplied market. It's oversaturated. There is way too much supply versus demand. The products in the laser production space are going through the floor in their pricing. The service has become a commodity. It keeps continuing to lower. And the outcomes those products are giving the end users, guess what? I believe a lot of them are outdated as well. And when I think about the inkjet folks, when I think about Kyocera coming into the marketplace in production print with inkjet technology over laser, when they first came out with that Task Alpha 15000C over there at Kyocera, I was like, what in the hell are you doing? But now I realize what they were doing. They were going to come into the marketplace with a laser production machine. They were going to come into the marketplace and disrupt the laser production machine with inkjet technology. They're doing a great job at it. They're kicking off their second machine in the lineup. When I think about Rizzo and their Valisys product, they're coming into the marketplace. They found a niche, and they're exploiting that niche. They're doing a great job. They understand how inkjet technology can deliver the outcome the customer needs, and they could get the benefits from inkjet versus laser. When I think about what our friends over there at Brother are doing in the industrial space, their industrial print space, with their Domino business group, all inkjet products, how well they're doing and how profitable they're doing at it. They did have an impairment charge this year, but at the end of the day, the revenue in that group is completely, well, it's almost triple that of Konica Minolta and Ricoh in the industrial space. Inkjet technology is the future of the industry. And ladies and gentlemen, when I share some statistics with you, I think your eyes are going to open up as well. So without any further ado, let's jump on the board. Top line revenue for Epson was $8.4 billion. They had an operating profit as a whole conglomerate of $369.5 million, or 4.4%. The 4.4% is down from last year's 7.3%. They had a little hiccup. They had $30.7 million pension expenses, not enough to really cause any problem. And they had $3.8 million impairment loss. But boy, when you look at the print business, for the folks over at Epson, it's pretty amazing. Printing Solutions, of the $8.4 billion, $5.9 billion of it came from Printing Solutions. The Printing Solutions has two divisions. Office and Home Printing, $4.2 billion, had an operating profit of $342.6 million, or 8.2%. Commercial and Industrial Printing, $1.7 billion, had an operating profit of $271 million, or 15.8%. Put them both together, $5.9 billion, $614 million operating profit, 10.5%. We got to put down the pen and give them a clap. Those are great numbers. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I wanted to break this apart a little bit, and I wanted to compare it to another OEM, and this is just amazing stuff to me. So I wanted to show you all the pictures of the products, and I've done this before, but I'm hoping today's episode I can really hit home on my thinking here, because I shared some of these thoughts when I was going through Brothers financials as well. But folks, if you look at the Home Office and Printing Innovation Business Unit for Epson, $4.2 billion total revenue for FY 2023. They had a $342.6 billion operating profit, or 8.2%. In this group, we got the Soho and Home Office, right? The small stuff. We also have the Office Shared. The Office Shared is where those Epsons A3 that are going to go into the marketplace to replace the other OEMs A3 laser color, right? That business was $458 million for our friends at Epson. They have tremendous opportunity for growth in that business model. But when you look at the Soho, small home and office, $3.2 billion. And then you compare that to Konica Minolta's DW, DX, and Office business together. And we all know that Epson's not out there selling IT services, and they didn't run around the world buying up a bunch of IT services company, piling them up underneath the company they bought 12 years ago. They're focused on print, it's supplies, right? Print, it's supplies. That's what they do over there at Epson in the Soho and home office business unit. $3.2 billion in printers and their supplies. Over there at Konica Minolta, the whole group did $3.9 billion. And that's the DWDX and Office. If you take out the DWDX, it's still $600 million. Ladies and gentlemen, you can clearly see that the business that Epson's getting from the small home and office is nearly the same amount of print business that Konica Minolta's getting through business offices all over the world. But here's where their advantage is, just like the advantage that Brother has. Ladies and gentlemen, Konica Minolta could never get $3.2 billion worth of business out of the small home and office. It will never happen. They don't have the processes in place, and quite honestly, they don't have the name recognition in place for the small home and office, and the players that are in that space are already there. So Konica is a great competitor for folks like Epson. So is Ricoh. Because at the end of the day, these other OEMs are never going to get the business from the small home and office. Epson has $3.2 billion worth of that business right now. All they got to do is grow that $458.8 million number. And that number, they're going to grow it from taking the business from Konica Minolta's office business unit and the other OEMs. It's all upside for them. They have tremendous opportunity to grow. Let's look at this commercial and industrial printing innovation. Top line revenue is $1.7 billion. Operating profit of $271 million, 15.8%. Ladies and gentlemen, $1.2 billion of the $1.7 billion is in these products. They're photo products. They're corporate inkjet fed products. They're signage products. They're label press. They're textile products. Label printing. People printing off big, beautiful posters. Ladies and gentlemen, that's a $1.2 billion business for Epson. Let's compare the Konica Minolta professional print business. That's where they have industrial and production print. The production print, those big giant MFPs, laser base, that they get all the press about and all these analysts having parties. We're selling production print. Everybody's all excited. That's $1.1 billion worth of Konica Minolta's revenue for FY23. It's less than the revenue that Epson got for its commercial and industrial finished products. It's less. Look at the profitability difference. Konica Minolta, their entire professional print business was 5.2% versus Epson's 15.8%. This is why when you hear all these folks talking to you all about getting into production print, figure out where you want to get into it at. Do you want to really focus on stuff that gives great outcomes to end users with a future? With stuff that's growing? I think so. This is eye-opening. Absolutely eye-opening. The entire professional print business for Konica Minolta for FY 2023 was $1.7 billion. At Epson, it was $1.7 billion, the same amount of money. But here's the problem. Inside Konica Minolta's professional print business, there's a $367.5 million marketing business. What the hell is that? I keep saying that every time I bring it up. But at the end of the day, is our industry, those dealer friends of mine, chasing the wrong thing? Are they focused on the wrong thing? I think they need to start figuring out how they get into that business. Because if they get into that business, they'll probably make the same kind of operating profit as their OEM, right? If it's profitable for the OEM, it's probably profitable for the dealers as well. When you think about this laser-based production print stuff, what's going on there? Yeah, we'll let you run 11 by 17, cut them in half, and we'll do full color all the way to the edge, full bleed, and we're only going to charge you. You've seen the numbers, right? Lots to think about, ladies and gentlemen. Epson has their goals, and they talk about some of their challenges. I'm just going to ask Epson a question. Is it about looking for inkjet applications or replacing laser? You cannot go into these businesses, these dealer friends of ours that sell supply and service print equipment, and then 99% of it's laser. They have a laser mindset, and you're allowing them to control your narrative. I'm convinced of it. When I read how you describe the marketplace, I'm convinced of it. You're trying to figure out how you fit in a laser world, and as I told my friends at Rizzo, the hell with that. Make the laser world fit into you. Make the laser world fit into you. Innovation is never a product. Innovation is a process change. And that process change can become because of a product. But the true innovation is changing the processes. And if you think about it, an industry built on laser, a lot of laser mentalities, a lot of folks can't comprehend. I mean, we could sell Inkjet and eliminate like a whole bunch of service calls, and what would our techs do? We could put laser out in the marketplace and we wouldn't have all these parts? Wow. Well, what would we do with our parts room? Ladies and gentlemen at Epson, ladies and gentlemen in the entire industry that are trying to make change and cause change, innovation is about changing a process, and you cannot allow these outdated processes of our industry to control the narrative. If you do that, you delay the progress. And sooner or later, progress always wins. Epson, you got a position to be a lead player in changing the processes if you're willing to fight a little bit harder. You talk about price. Are we talking about hardware? Are we talking about supplies? Are we talking about service? You know, our industry spent decades running around trying to save everybody money. We're going to save you money. We'll save you 30% on your print services. Just come with us. After we do a free assessment and go around your whole entire corporation and get all the page counts and do all the things we got to do to prepare to go in here and do a replacement and manage all your print, that we're never going to charge you for any of those assessments, and then we're going to save you like 30% of your print. And we're going to give you a fantastic experience. Your customers think to themselves, so I get a better experience, you run around and do a whole lot of work for nothing, and it's less money. Well, that sounds good. Sign me up. Ladies and gentlemen, we got to stop trying to save people money and instead try to deliver people better experiences. And the better those experiences are, the better articulated those experiences are, guess what? The more money you could charge them. We see the commercials. Our friend Shaq out there, kiss expensive cartridges goodbye. Okay, there's some mentality there. Makes a little bit of sense. But in the office space, is there a possibility that price is less important than better experiences? Stop trying to save everybody every kinds of money and go in there and share with them better experience. Kissing service calls goodbye sounds great. Way less heat means way less calls. Kiss those service calls goodbye. We don't have to kiss expensive cartridges goodbye. Let's kiss goodbye outdated processes. Ladies and gentlemen, lots of products in the Epson portfolio. And a lot of these products our dealers should be out there selling, right? They got visual communication products, all kinds of products, even the wearable products. We're all talking about health and wellness. Do we know that Epson has wearable products? Folks, all the OEMs. And I did this when I talked about Toshiba's numbers yesterday. We got to figure out, if you have products that can help dealers diversify and change the game in the marketplace, then you got to figure out how to get those products to those dealers. And quit living in these different silos and having all these issues, I'm sure. Epson's got PCs and stuff out there. I want to wrap it up with this. I'm going to ask some questions of the DSMs that work for Epson, the folks that are going out there calling on dealers. You're trying to get the dealers to replace the laser with your inkjet products. Here's my question. Which laser OEM has Epson replaced the most? Could any DSM answer that question? What percentage of dealer A3 color is Epson? What percentage of A4 color is Epson in every dealership you do business in? It's probably a low percentage number, but do you know exactly what it is? Comparing inkjet to laser, same volume. What is the service call difference? If I put an inkjet right next to a laser, running the same amount of pages per month, who has less calls? Can the DSM answer that question? Can they share success stories from a dealer with actual facts and statistics? What are the OEM names and model numbers of all laser units that Epson can replace? If you're going to a Ricoh dealer DSM, do you know every single machine that you could replace without a hitch? Man, people are going to love it. The science that you have from your data proves it's better, it runs better, it's less service calls. Can you share that information? If you can't answer these questions, then you're not fighting hard enough, in my opinion. If you can answer these questions, then you need to come on the end of the day with Ray and answer them for the whole world to know the answer. Epson, if you want to change the processes, you cannot base the innovation on outdated mindsets that are very comfortable living in a laser environment. And that goes to my friends at Rizzo. That goes to my friends at Kyocera as they go out with their inkjet technologies. Anybody that's trying to change the game the old way, if they had their way, they wouldn't let you do it. The good news is progress always wins eventually. Let's make it win now, because everybody watching me knows this. Status quo is the killer of all that'll be invented. Don't get stuck in status quo, and I'll see you all tomorrow.